Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Izan binti Zulkifli, metric number 264823, and my partner is Nur Maisarah binti Muhammad Johan, metric number 264400. We are going to present our research on a discrete event simulation model of emergency department resource capacity. An emergency department is a hospital's doorway that is responsible for providing medical and surgical treatment to a large number of patients who arrive at the hospital to seek immediate medical attention. A significant amount of research has been done to address ED issues such as overcrowding, extended waiting time, and staffing allocation. A study by Abdul Jabbar et al. 2017 has been discussed on the development of a discrete event simulation model for an emergency department in a government hospital in Malaysia. They provide a generalized ED model that was created using discrete event simulation and may be used in other Malaysian emergency departments.
So the next one is for problem statement. Problem statement is an increase, for problem statement in emergency department, we have increased demand of emergency healthcare services. Is attributed to an increase in unintentional accident. And the promise of emergency healthcare system has not yet been fully realized. This circumstance causes ED congestion and overcrowding, resulting in a decrease in the quality of healthcare services and outcome. Overcrowding in healthcare and emergency room has negative consequences for patients, healthcare providers, and the general public. And delays in providing healthcare treatments to patients can affect the quality of emergency service as well as their consequences. And our research objective for emergency department in discrete event simulation is to develop a discrete event simulation model based on the existing data to address the emergency department issues. Next one is to identify the bottleneck in emergency department of a hospital. And the last research objective for emergency department is to provide alternative solution for a better system performance for patient satisfaction. So we have basic simulation model. So this is our model simulation. This one is walk-in arrival. We have two arrival, which is walk-in arrival and ambulance arrival. If the patient who come with ambulance arrival, they will not go through the registration or trial system. They will just go straight to the treatment system. But the walk-in arrival, they have to go through the registration because doctor needs to know the information of the patient. And for ambulance, the medical staff in the ambulance already have the information of the patient. That's why they go straight to the treatment system compared to the walk-in arrival. So after that, they have to go through trial system and then assign patient. Assign patient, we have three zones, which is red zone, yellow zone, and green zone. Red zone is the most critical one. So if the patient are critical, then they gonna go straight to the examination room. But if both yellow zone and green zone, they have to wait for the patient have to wait for their turn before going to the examination room. And then after they go to the examination room, they're gonna go to treatment room, and then after that we have further checkup, which is whether if the patient need further checkup, then they have to be warded. But if the patient are good, like have a just light treatment, then the patient's gonna discharge out of emergency department. And then we're gonna see the run setup here, the run length. We have the number of repetitions. We write it 3 because we're gonna do it like 3 days in 5 hours. So the repetition is 5. In terms, the time minute is hours. So we're gonna check the simulation model for 5 hours only in 24 hours in 1 day. So we have 3 days with 5 hours of replication time. And this is the result of the basic simulation, basic model application simulation of emergency department. So we have the common measure of patient number in, patient of walk-in ambulance, and the registration staff, housemanship, doctors, resident doctors, specialty doctors, and system of all. So for the first application, the patient number in is 16. The patient number for walk-in is 16 patient. Wow, ambulance they have 18 patients. For first application, second application, they have 11 people walk-in, and 17 patients for ambulance. And the third application, they have 12, but they have for walk-in. But meanwhile, ambulance arrival, they have like 22 patients. And then for registration staff, we can see that none of the staff have any patient, because we can conclude that actually the registration staff can handle all the patients with 3 staff. So this simulation we do like 3 staff only for the basic model application, and then so they can handle all the arrival patient for walk-in in that 5 hours only. So you can see that it's good with the 3 staff. And house manager doctors for first, second, and third application, they have 7, 6, and 6 respectively. For specialist resident doctors, they have 7, 6, 7 respectively for first, second, and third application. And for specialist doctors, they have 8, 5, 9 for first, second, third application. And the system number for the first application is 13 patients. Second application, they have 15 patients out. And third application, they have 21 patients out. So the rest of the patient that does not come out from the emergency department, they might be in a treatment with doctors, or they have to be on. The next one is first invention. First invention is reducing the number of registration staff in the registration system. Okay, this is the result for the performance measure. And then for the first, it's seeing registration, the result for the output for the first intervention, same as the estimation method. It is patient number for in the driver of for in ambulance, registration staff, hospital manager, doctors, resident doctors, special doctors, and system about. And we can see that the first application is around the same as the basic model. So 11, 13, 15 for walk-in, 12, 19, 20 for first, second, third application for ambulance, and the registration staff. We can see, so since the first application about registration staff, so we can see that first application registration staff have like 11 patients, which means they can't handle all the patients. So I forgot to tell you that registration staff we have in this intervention, we want to test what if we put only one staff. Do the staff can handle all the patients? So for one staff, they can't handle. In the result, we can see that they can't handle because the patient for walk-in are still stuck in 11 for 11 S11. Same as second application and third application, it's all the same. Because one staff can't handle all the patients of walk-in. So we can see that reducing the number of staff is not a good idea for the emergency department. And then house manager doctors, resident doctors, all of them, they got like patient number in for ambulance. And the system number out for first application, for first, second, and third application, they have like 11, 18, and 20 respectively.
Intervention 2, which is reducing the number of doctors who are treating the patients at the treatment process. This table shows the simulation output for Intervention 2. From the table, it shows that the average of patients successfully treated in the system is 13 patients. It proves that by reducing the number of doctors at treatment process has significantly affected the total number of patients successfully be treated. Maximum waiting time of patients in queue at treatment process has an average of 1.4137 minutes. The average of maximum number of patients in queue at registration counter is 15 patients. Meanwhile, an average of 7 patients are in queue at treatment process. Intervention 3 is reducing the number of registration staffs and the number of doctors who are treating the patients at the treatment process. From the table, it shows that the average of patients successfully be treated in the system is 13 patients. It proves that by reducing the number of registration staffs at the registration counter and the number of doctors at the treatment process has significantly affected the total number of patients successfully be treated. Triage process has the highest average maximum waiting time of patients in queue, which is 2.7332 minutes, followed by treatment and registration process, which is 2.2553 minutes and 0.0233 minutes respectively. A maximum number of patients in queue at registration counter remain 1 for all 3 replications. Meanwhile, an average of 8 patients are in queue at triage process and waiting to be attended by doctors. Treatment process has the highest average number of patients in queue, which is 11 patients. From the simulation output in all previous table, we can notice that Intervention 1 has the better number out, which is a total of 16 patients. For maximum waiting time of patients in treatment queue, Intervention 1 has the lowest average waiting time in treatment queue compared to Intervention 2 and Intervention 3, which is 0.1328 minutes. This is because a set of doctors is used as resources in this process. Meanwhile, the number of doctors at treatment process is reduced for Intervention 2 and Intervention 3. Registration counter for Intervention 2 has the highest number of patients in queue, which is a total of 15 patients, while Intervention 3 has the highest number of patients in treatment queue, which is an average of 11 patients. Based on the simulation output of these interventions, Intervention 1 has the better results of performance measures and would be the most effective way for the Hospital Pulau Pinang management to improve their system performance for patient service. As a conclusion, this study has developed the discrete event simulation approach using Arena software in order to find the bottleneck in the system performance by analyzing the system performance at an emergency department of a government hospital in Georgetown, Pulau Pinang. Later, a few interventions are conducted to improve the current system performance at the emergency department. By conducting this study, the findings offer the management the solutions to increase the total number out of patients in the system that later may improve the overall system performance, and eventually the patient satisfaction level of the services will be increased. From the analysis, the total number out of patients at the emergency department of Hospital Pulau Pinang is increased, resulting improvement in their service quality.